Welcome to today's video. We're not on any sort of schedule anymore. The daily commute has kind of gone out the window with all the other stuff that I've been doing recently. It's just been insane. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about producing videos, or vlogs actually in particular, without equipment. I've been watching a lot of vlogs, just because I do anyway. And one guy that I've been watching a lot recently just straight up shoots these on his laptop. The production value's lower even than what you're seeing right now, which is not great here, I'm sure. I mean, I've not seen the final product, so I don't know yet. But still, I was watching them and I started thinking, I'm watching this and I'm enjoying it because of the content, not because of the visuals so much. It is a visual medium, but even though he didn't have the best visuals, even though he didn't have the best visuals, I was still engaged in the content. And I think that was what was really important. But if you're looking to make YouTube videos, if you're looking to make vlogs, wherever you're going to put them, it doesn't matter, and you're thinking, well, I don't have a good camera, and I don't have this or that, I want to tell you that you can make them anyway. So to prove it, right now, I am making this video with the most minimal gear I have at my disposal. The only professional gear that I'm using right now is a softbox on this side, this side, and a 5:1 reflector on that side. And that is it. No other lights on happening in here. It's just dark room with a softbox and a bounce so that I'm not just completely in darkness. And you can get this kind of equipment for very, very low price. I'm gonna estimate $60. And after I finish this video editing it, I am going to go and find the links to equipment that I think will work for that at that price range. Because as far as I know, a 5:1 reflector is like $15 to $20. A softbox, if you're going to have it as close to you as this one is to me right now, you can get one that's super cheap because it's not going to matter that it's not putting out a ton of light, because it's close enough, it's still going to give you that good soft light that you're wanting, that wraps around the face a little bit and makes it easier to get your videos lit. And if all you're going to be doing is sitting at a desk and making a video, that is the most minimal gear that you need other than a camera. Now the camera that I'm using right now is my like 6 or 7 year old Microsoft Live Cam. It only shoots in 720p, which is why this isn't the most beautiful looking video, but we are going to try and make it look a little bit better in post. And I think that's where we should go next. Basics though, some sort of thing to shoot video with, since we're talking about a visual medium, something to give you some light so that you can actually, get the video to look not grainy and crappy. So get a webcam out, get even a lamp out of your living room. And I just didn't have any free lamps today, so because they're all being used because I'm shooting this at night, and I didn't want to go hunt down a lamp that somebody's not going to be using right now. But pull in a lamp and just set it there and put a sheet in front of it or bounce it off a sheet, and you'll get nice enough looking light that you can make a video without problem. So let's look at the video editing software right now that I prefer, but it's all going to go, completely for whatever software you want to use. It's going to be basically the same. So let's hop into post. So here we are in Davinci Resolve. This is my preferred video editing program. One of the biggest reasons that I love this program is that it is free. You can buy the full version for $300, which is actually not a bad price when you come right down to it, but you don't have to buy it in order to use it, and I think that is really great. You do have some limited functionality, but for the most part, that was only for like certain effects and certain transitions, things like that. But for regular editing, you can do anything you want for free. So as per the reasoning for this video of doing things when you don't have equipment or you don't have like powerful editing computers or lights or the money to purchase expensive software, this is why I'm using this one, and that's why I use it anyways, because I'm not rich. And so for me to be able to make videos, I need something that is low cost or no cost. And so I am also using the free version. I highly recommend everyone get it. It is one of the better programs out there, and then it's free to boot. So you can't, there's nothing to complain about with that. So back to our edit. So what I like to do is I already loaded my footage in here, and then I like to set an in and an out point because it's best to start with knowing what you've got. So I watch all the way through it, which I've already done. I don't want you guys to have to go through that since you've already watched it. And then I go back and I start my in and my out points, which I now have on my timeline here, or in my viewer. So there's my in point and my out point. I'm good to go. The only keyboard shortcut that this doesn't have that I wish it did is I don't remember what it is in Premiere now off the top of my head because it's been a while since I used Premiere. But like in Final Cut, it's you hit E and it appends the entire timeline with whatever you've got, so it puts it at the end. E for end. That does not work here, even if you do change your shortcuts to Final Cut shortcuts. But I mean, you can drag. I'm more of a keyboard user, which is why that bothers me. I like having everything keyboard driven, and I'm sure if I went through the commands I could do that, but I haven't, and I always think about it and then I never do it because I'm stupid. So once I'm on there, I'm on the timeline, I'm ready to go. I like to give myself a second of space at the front end because you want to start in black and then fade up at the beginning. If you look at any script for a film, you almost always see fade in at the beginning of the script. Sometimes it's cut in, but most of the time it's fade in. We follow that here. That's just what we do. So I'm fading in because it's a nice, easy transition into the vlog. And then if this were all I was putting on here, if I had already finished all my cuts and stuff, I could go to the end and I could drag over this little guy to give myself another 15-minute transition into black again. But since I'm recording the next part of this vlog, I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to cut to it. I'm going to hit Shift-Z. That brings me back to the full view of the timeline. If I hit Shift-Z again, it takes me back to where I was before. But I want to see the whole timeline. I already know that this footage has really bad audio. There's a lot of noise in it. So we can go in there and we can add a noise reduction. And we can tailor it ourselves, or we can just do it to auto. Since this video doesn't have great audio anyway, and I'm not going to spend the time to tune it in perfectly because there's no time for that. I'm probably just going to use the auto mode. So let's go over to the audio tab, the Fairlight tab, which is the one that looks like little musical notes. And I can just grab the noise reduction, toss it on there, and I can go to auto speech mode, and it will detect automatically speech, and then the stuff that's outside of the speech, it's going to kind of filter out. You will hear the noise increase between speaking patterns and stuff, and if I were to go through and isolate the frequency like I said before, I could totally get rid of that. But that is a whole tutorial in itself, and this is barely a tutorial at all. This is only a proof of concept, so not going to put that work into it. And then I would like to color this. I'm looking at it and I see that it's actually exposed okay. I'm getting a little bit of a hot spot here on the cheek, and so I can use the curve to bring down the highlights in that area just a little bit to try and recover some of those colors without making it too blown out. I'm going to get rid of this LUTs panel and the clips panel so I can kind of see that area a bit better. Yeah, it's very, very patchy here. So I'm probably not going to be able to pull that very far at all. That's probably about as far as I'll be able to go to get some of that color back, but without making it really harsh gradients or lack of gradients. I'm probably going to also just pull the shadows very minimally down, just to give it just the tiniest bit more deepness in the shadows, especially down here in the beard and back here to try and hide my laundry that's sitting on the couch that I still haven't folded, because I'm a bad person. I'm pretty happy with this. Just corrector wise, I don't think that we need to balance the color so much on here. It's a little pinky in the skin tones, so I mean, if we wanted to, we could go through some isolation to isolate those, or use a selector to isolate those sections, and then bring down some of the pink that's in there. But we could probably actually just do it in the mid-tones and pull it away from the pink slightly. No, it's looking like it's not getting anything there. Weird. Not really seeing much in the change there, so I'm wondering if it's more into the highlights area. Yeah, it's a little bit more in the highlights. I'm not really going to go to the color though so much, because I don't know if it needs too much in there. There's not a lot of midtones to play with here, and that has to do with using the webcam, of course. Probably the only thing I'm going to do this at this point, because there's just not enough pixels to be pushing around with that much contrast, is I'll probably up the contrast just a little bit, because I'm very into contrastiness. Just want to stretch it out just a little bit, play with it. Maybe not. It's kind of accentuating that lack of gradient there. Let's just put it back to 1. We're not going to touch any of it. Can't do it right now. We just don't have that detail with this camera that we would have with something that's more high dollars. But I mean, when you're talking about this is like a $20 webcam. And the image, because we've lit it well enough, doesn't look 100% horrible. And I think that's the big point here, is that you can do this with cheap equipment. You just got to get your lights right. I want to use a LUT on this because I have a LUT pack that I really love. And I got this off of, I guess it came off of Rocket Stock, which Premium Beat, whatever. I'll link to the page. This is probably one of my favorite ones, is the Domingo 145. Of course, I'm not going to leave it at this setting. If I add it to that, I'm going to drop down the intensity of that LUT so that it's not overpoweringly stylized in a way that's just really off-putting. But there's also some others that I really enjoy that would be maybe nice to put on there. The McKinnon 75 is another favorite of mine. It's got a lot of blues in the shadows. It's got a lot of kind of a, I wouldn't say coral, because it's not like cyan and coral, but it's somewhere in that, some oranges in the highlights and some bluer areas in the shadows, and it's a lot of fun to use too. I think maybe we'll use that one on this one. Let's just drag that onto this, and then let's tone it down a lot. Maybe 0.3 on it. Let's see how. I'm not liking it for this. I'm just not. So we're gonna reset this node, and let's go to that Domingo one. I like this Domingo one a lot. Let's bring it down to about half power. It's not bad. Let's try 0.4. Let's look at this before and after here. Yeah, I kind of like the brown ruddiness that it gets in the shadows with this one. I don't know why, it just does it for me. It's okay if it doesn't do it for you. It's fine. But that's it. Like it's not the best looking image, but it doesn't look terrible. And I think that's the important part here. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys really liked it. It's really just about proving that you can do videos, you can do vlogs with the most basic of cameras. Almost everyone has a cell phone in their pocket now, and almost every cell phone has a much better camera than the one I'm using here. This is straight up $20 or $30 Microsoft Live Cam. It is not near what you have in your pocket right now. And if I can make a video that looks semi-decent with it, which I'm hoping this video looks semi-decent to you. It looks semi-decent to me. But if I can make this with this camera, you can certainly make high-quality vlog content with your phone or a GoPro or any other camera that you have available to you. Please like this video. Please hit subscribe and that little bell button that's inside this side, I think. So you can get notified, or is it down below now? It's a very good question. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys feel a little bit inspired to make videos that you would not have otherwise wanted to make because you realize that you really can do it. And we will see you guys next time.